Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hey, you guys are listening to the Calm Mom Podcast. It's Michelle here. Thanks for being with us today. Today, I want to go over some of our daily habits that have a huge impact on the state of our nervous system. So we're going to get into that. Life update, moving update, housing update on my end. We are finally moved in to our new home in Houston and is so excited to be here. Definitely still living amidst a bunch of boxes and suitcases and all the things. But holy moly, let me tell you, it's so much better to be doing that in our own home than in a bunch of random Airbnbs and hotels, which is what we've been doing for the last month. So awesome progress. My office here is different than it was in my house in Miami. In Miami, I was kind of like tucked away in the bedroom wing. And in this house, my office is right off the living area, right off the kitchen and the dining room and the living room, which is awesome because I don't feel so removed from everything when I'm working. And it also means that you guys are probably going to hear my dogs a lot more because there's like a balcony right off of the living room. And Jeff loves to keep those doors open, which is nice, especially with this weather we're having right now. And my dogs are like suburb dogs, and they're not used to being in the middle of the city and hearing and seeing and smelling all the dogs going by. So they like have a panic attack every 30 seconds and run out to the balcony, and they're like barking like crazy. So y'all will probably hear them in the background, but it's good stuff. Okay, let's jump in. I think, a big contributing factor that I see to the chronic state of dysregulation in the women that I work with and that I hear from is that we just have so much to do. I'll like include myself in here because when I'm not careful, it's really easy for me to get sucked into this, is that we feel like we have so much we need to do. We feel like we need to be on the go all the time. And we have all of these habits, right? These ways of being that we've had in our daily routines that are really subtle. I think we don't really realize how much of an impact that they have on the state of our nervous system because it's probably stuff we've been doing for a really long time. It's probably stuff that seems benign. It seems like everyone's doing it. It's just how you go about life these days in 2024. And I think we just don't realize that a lot of these habits are actually doing more harm than we realize. And that's why this episode really matters. I want to explore how, everything that we do, you guys, is controlled by our nervous system, right? It's like our body's command center. It's sending all of the messages, all of the commands. Think this, look out for this, be scared of this, say this, right? Feel this. And that nervous system is always scanning for safety or for threats. That's its number one job. Like our nervous system, first and foremost, always number one priority will be our safety and survival. So it's really controlling everything. But here's the key. Our nervous system is also impacted by everything we do, right? It's like everything impacts our nervous system and our nervous system impacts everything. So if we're not aware of how our daily habits affect our nervous system, we can really end up getting stuck in this cycle of dysregulation and then getting frustrated because we're like, man, I don't know what's going on here, right? So I want to start here. Everything we do is controlled by our nervous system, and our nervous system is impacted impacted by everything that we do. Our nervous system's in control of every experience in our body. Our nervous system controls like how you're reacting to stress. Are you feeling calm or are you feeling on edge? Like right now, today, this week, right? How do you connect with others? Are you trusting of others? Are you skeptical of others? Do you tend to talk a lot when you're nervous? What kind of coping mechanisms do you have with stress? Do you tend to people please? Are you a perfectionist? Even a lot of like physical sensations in our body, all governed by our nervous system. Our nervous system, I kind of think about it like this scanner. Like imagine you were wearing this little like beam, this little like scanner on your head. And it's just like constantly looking out in front of you. I'm like literally have my hand on my head right now. And it's just like scanning, right? It's constantly assessing your environment. It's constantly trying to, take in information and figure out, hey, is this safe or is this dangerous, right? And it's using so many different cues, things that we hear, things that we smell, things that we experience, internal things, right? Our thoughts and our emotions, even like our digestion, you guys. Our nervous system is assessing all of these different things to figure out if we're safe or not. But here's the flip side. Our nervous system is not just reactive. It's actually highly influenced by the choices that we make every day. So the things that we do repeatedly, our habits, send signals to our body about whether we should be calm, right? Which like, okay, we're good. Or whether it's time to like jump into some sort of stress response, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So our body's always in conversation with the things that we do every day. And ultimately our habits are the things that we do every day, right? So our body's in constant communication, I guess, or conversation with these habits because it's taking in information from our surroundings, from the things that we do every day. So everything from, your posture, like how you sit, how you eat, all of the things, the pace with which we're living gives our nervous system information that either A, we're safe, or B, we're in danger, right? A, our nervous system needs to like soothe, our nervous system is soothed by our habits, or our nervous system is dysregulated by our habits. And, I think a big culprit to the reason why a lot of our habits are having a negative impact on the state of our nervous system is really because, in this day and age, we're living as part of a society that collectively encourages habits that ultimately dysregulate our nervous system. Like this is part of why in our home, one of our like most commonly discussed family values is that counterculture is our culture. Like I'm not going to blindly go about my day doing all of the things that, Pinterest, Instagram, the neighborhood moms, whoever it is, right, are doing or saying that I should be doing to be a good mom, to be successful, to raise, healthy, resilient, kind human beings. I'm going to question all of it because I see how getting stuck in this hamster wheel of all of these habits that society perpetuates do not regulate our nervous system, right? They're actually behaviors that push us into states of chronic stress without us even realizing it. And these are common and they're accepted and they're praised and they're also inherently dysregulating to our nervous system. A really big one, you guys, is hustle culture. Hustle culture, boss mom, boss babe, like garbage. We are encouraged to go, go, go. Always be productive, right? We have so many stories wrapped up in what it looks like to be lazy, what it means if we're not productive, what it means if we rest, never slow down. That constant pressure keeps our body in a sympathetic state, you guys. It keeps us in fight or flight because these habits have become so normalized. We don't even realize that they're triggering our nervous system. We don't even realize that they're leading to anxiety and burnout and chronic stress. So step one, say it with me, awareness. I always talk about it, right? Before we can change anything, we need to notice the signals that our body is sending us. And then we have to start to question which parts of our daily routine might actually be pushing us into a state of stress or dysregulation. And then take a look at it, right? Is this something that I'm doing for this season because this is like a sprint and I see the end line and this is how my days are looking now, but I see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it's going to change. That's very different than like, I have done this every day for the last 10 years. And this is just how I've done things. And this is no longer serving me, right? This is actually pushing me into a state of stress and dysregulation. And I'm making a decision now to push back against it, right? To do something about it because I see that it's not serving me anymore. Now that I have the awareness, I can then make a decision that will serve me better, right? That's the whole idea of being conscious. It's like, oh, that's actually not serving me well. I'm going to do something different about it. And then instead of being stuck in like the rat race that everyone else is running, that's just not serving anyone really. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 habits. I think these are daily habits for a lot of us that can contribute to nervous system dysregulation. These are parts of everyday life. They might seem harmless. They might actually feel productive if you have a not so healthy relationship with productivity. But over time, guys, these habits wear down your nervous system's ability to function properly. The other thing I want to say before I jump into these is that I think a lot of us like know these things, which can be kind of annoying, right? I'm going to tell you some things or point out some habits that you have that you're probably like, yeah, I already know that. I already know I shouldn't be doing that. I already know that's not great for me. I already know I've heard it. I've seen it on Instagram. You've talked about it before. But here's the catch, you guys. Like, you might know it, but are you doing anything about it? You have this information, but is it like then leading to any action, right? It's your life. It's your choices. These are your habits. I can talk to you about this stuff until I'm blue in the face. But ultimately I can't do the work for you. So if you're listening and you're like, yeah, I already know this. I already know that's not good for me. I already know that's not good for me. But you're doing these a lot more often than you're wanting to admit. Like, y'all, just a very loving, gentle invitation for you to be honest with yourselves. And then, man, love yourself enough to take some action, right? Choose one of these that you're like, yeah, I know that, but I haven't done anything about it. Choose one this week and put it into practice and actually change your habit and watch what happens, right? It takes a few months. I think the research shows that it takes about 60 days for us to form new neural pathways, new habits, new ways of being. So can you make a commitment, right? From now until, the holidays, from now until the end of the year, whatever it is, I'm going to really be intentional and in integrity about holding this boundary, about either doing or not doing this daily habit. And then just notice what happens in your nervous system. I think that's a great start. Okay, number one. Number one is excessive phone, screen, notification, email, text, like all of that. Yes, the blue light. Yes, all of these things. But even more than that, you guys, it's the constant stimulation and input. It's not so much even like the screen that I'm so worried about. It's that you're constantly being inundated with information and requests and people that need something from you and want a response right now. And you're multitasking and your brain is scattered and you're in 700 different tabs. And that constant input from your screens, it keeps your nervous system in a hyper aroused state, especially when it comes to your emails, social media, like notifications right now. You guys, if you're going to do anything, turn off your notifications. I have turned off every notification on my phone. I'll get the really important notifications by email, things like from my banking, or if it was like my kids' school apps, things like that. But the notifications on my email were also turned off. So I had to go in and like check my email a couple times a day. And then I would be able to get those notifications. Huge difference in my anxiety, in my dysregulation, right? So much healing just from that simple thing, because all of that information, all of that stimulation, all of those like urgent needs of the whole world and that like aren't even your problem, you guys, it keeps you in fight or flight mode. And that's where your body perceives all of this information as a form of a threat. Your body's like, whoa, this is so overwhelming, not to mention all the other like 700 things I have to do today, right? So it's like scrolling without realizing it. And all of a sudden, 20 minutes have gone by. Checking emails all day long, or at least first thing in the morning and last thing at night, no bueno. Doom scrolling before bed. We're never really fully engaged, which means our nervous system is always kind of on, right? It's always on alert. It's always expecting the next notification. What's the next thing I got to do? What's the next thing I got to respond to? What's like, it's election season. Like, what kind of information are you consuming that's leading to mental fatigue, poor sleep, emotional dysregulation? So guys, set some boundaries around this. Man, like if you can put your screens away at a certain time, like, hey, I put my screens away at 6 p.m. and I like literally put them in, like for us, we have a charging station in our pantry. It gets plugged in there. I don't look at it until a certain time the next morning. Have some screen-free times blocked off in your home for you, for your partner, for your kids, especially in the mornings and the evenings. And then when you are consuming screen time, man, get yourself a pair of like blue light glasses, blue light filters. What's another thing you can do? This has also been really helpful for me. I've talked about it before. I went through my Instagram that I was following, like accounts that I was following. And I just went on this massive unfollow binge. And I just unfollowed anyone who was perpetuating this hustle culture, anything negative, anything that, I used to buy into that I'm not subscribing to anymore, anything fear-based, anything that would give me a skewed perception of reality, i.e. women who like have Pinterest-worthy perfect homes and aren't being honest about all of the help that they have to keep their home looking that way, or anything else, in their lives, about their bodies, right? People who are just like not realistic representations of what women like me look like. I just unfollowed all of that. And that actually made my Instagram experience a lot less stressful. But it was kind of subtle, but it made a big difference. So that's number one, just being intentional about when and how you're consuming the notifications and the informations and the blue light from your phones and screens. Number two, the second daily habit that has a huge impact on nervous system health is sitting for long, extended periods of time, especially sitting at a desk or on your couch or in a chair where you're kind of hunched over and you're looking down at your screen or you're looking down at your phone. That's signaling to the body that it's not in motion, which is true, right? You're sitting there, you're not in motion. But what happens is that our brain is in this sympathetic state. We have all this stuff to do. We have all these stressors, all these notifications, all these things required of us. It sends us into fight or flight. When we are in fight or flight, when you guys are in fight or flight, every cell in your body is primed for movement. Just think about the term fight or run, right? Fight or flight. That's movement. So you're in fight or flight because you're checking your email and there's so much to do and you're overwhelmed and you're never going to get to it and whatever the rest of the story is, right? And you're just sitting there and you're not moving and your body's kind of like freaking out, right? Your amygdala is like, hey, alert, alert. Like there's a lot to do here and you're just sitting. We're supposed to run. We're supposed to fight. Like this isn't safe. You're never going to get this all done. You're going to get in trouble. You're running out of time or whatever it is. And we sit there. We're kind of like suppressing all of that alarm. And that can lead you guys to a buildup of a lot of the physical manifestations of being in that sympathetic state, right? It's not just a mindset thing. Our body releases certain chemicals. There are certain things that happen within our body when we're in fight or flight. Our body can tense up, right? It affects our blood flow, our a lot of our non-essential systems like our digestive system and our immune system and our reproductive system are slowed. Blood is diverted away from our gut and to our extremities and our heart so we can run or we can fight. But then we sit all day long and we don't metabolize any of those hormones. We don't move our body. We just sit at our desk, right? 8 hours straight, not taking breaks, working through lunch, staying stationary. Then we come home and we make dinner and then we sit down and we watch TV or we work on a laptop. Ask me how I know, right? I lived like this for a really long time. And when we're not moving our body on the regular, that's decreasing circulation. It's, that tension that's in our body, that stiffness that you're noticing in your jaw and your neck and your shoulders and your back. You have no opportunity to move all of that. It keeps your cortisol levels elevated because you're not metabolizing this stuff. And it slows down your body's ability to recover from stress. So move your body. Move your body. You don't have to go join a CrossFit gym. Like, this doesn't have to be any extreme thing. Can you start going to take a walk during your lunch break for 10 minutes? Can you start, working for 40 minutes and then sitting down and stretching for 5 minutes, throughout your work day? I just actually got a walking pad for my office. It's like this, I don't know, I think mine costs like $100 on Amazon, but it's like this little baby treadmill that I'm just going to have in my office. It folds up. It's like, I'm just going to lean it against a wall. But there are times when, like, now I'm going to sit and I'm going to work and I'm going to record my podcasts. But man, if I'm going to be, working on creating a new program for you guys, or writing podcast episodes, or even coaching sometimes, I think I'm going to move my desk chair out of the way. I have a desk, like a standing desk. I'm going to raise my desk and I'm going to put down that walking pad, and I'm just going to allow my body to move while I work, because I know how important it is, right? Even deep breathing, guys, like stopping every hour and really being intentional about how you're breathing can do wonders for your nervous system. So that's number 2. Number three is relying on this like cycle of caffeine and then alcohol to regulate your nervous system, to regulate your energy levels, to regulate what's going on in your mind. A lot of us do this, right? We rely on this, like, I'm going to have caffeine in the morning or throughout the afternoon to kind of spike my energy because I need that up. But then come like 5, 6 p.m., I'm so wired that I need to take, I need to have a glass of wine or consume alcohol to like be able to exhale and take the edge off. And then I don't sleep well. And then in the morning, I feel like I need coffee again. And it kind of becomes this like upper and downer cycle that's very common and very accepted by society, right? But we know that these things have a massive impact on the state of our nervous system. Caffeine spikes your adrenaline. Caffeine spikes your cortisol levels, especially in the morning when for most of us, our cortisol levels are already peaking, because that's what brings us out of sleep and into conscious awareness so we can wake up. So when we consume caffeine first thing in the morning, it's artificially driving our nervous system into this heightened state, right? We're pouring gasoline on the fire. And then alcohol, on the other hand, it does sedate the nervous system, right? It does take that edge off. That's true. But it actually numbs our nervous system's ability to recalibrate naturally. So like once the effects wear off, we're actually more dysregulated than when we started. So y'all, if you're drinking coffee to like quote unquote wake up and push through the day, and then you're using alcohol, happy hour, like evening to wind down so you can get to sleep, I would encourage you to really be intentional and like get curious about that cycle. Reevaluate it. Hey, am I doing this? Maybe you didn't even realize it, right? That was me for a long time. Wake up, have a cup of coffee, maybe another one around 11 a.m. And then come like 5, 6 p.m., I was so overstimulated, so much coming at me. It was time to make dinner. It was like the witching hour with my kids. And I'm like, holy moly, someone make me a margarita because I need to take the edge off, right? And then I was stuck in this cycle that I didn't even realize, this cycle that actually kept me in this, this cycle of like energy spikes and crashes. So what do? Well, take a look at it and be honest with yourself. I think this is one that can, bring on a whole slew of things, shame being one of them. So be gentle with yourself. What can we do? Really easy. Replace your caffeine with hydration first thing in the morning. I started waking up and I just started like chugging a full glass of water before I even make myself a cup of coffee. That gives me so much more energy, real energy, than just having caffeine in order to have energy, right? I love coffee. I love the ritual of it. I love how good it smells. I love that it's warm. I love how it tastes in the morning, right? As I'm like starting my day, I'm not telling you not to have coffee. I have it. But before I do, I hydrate my body because that's what actually gives me energy. And then I have something to eat either before or with my coffee. And I don't make myself breakfast at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. when I usually have this. I grab a hard-boiled egg that I have in the fridge that's already peeled. I'll grab a cheese stick. I'll have a little thing of Greek yogurt with like some berries in it. Try to have some protein. I try to have some fat while I'm having my coffee. It takes 30 seconds for me to do that. And it's so much better for my nervous system. It's so much better actually for my digestive system also. So replacing your alcohol, so replacing your caffeine with hydration and then eating some protein and fat with your caffeine in the morning can really help. And then in the evening, something that really helped me, one, a lot of this is a habit, right? We're talking about habits. So going to that glass of wine, going to that cocktail in the evening can be habitual. So just noticing that and then asking yourself, like, what does my body actually need right now? Right? Sometimes my body just needed like some calming activity. Sometimes my body just needed a walk outside by myself. Sometimes my body just needed a warm bath. Sometimes my body or my being really needed to connect with my husband, right? That was like a time where it's like, all right, let's have a drink and make dinner together and we'd have good conversation. And I loved that. But I'm like, it's not the alcohol that I want in that. I want the connection. So I can still have that connection and maybe I'll have a mocktail or, whatever it is. Just experiment with different things. There's so many things out there now. You can have mocktails with adaptogens that actually help support your calm without the sedation. That's what I've been doing lately. I've been getting a subscription box from Curious Elixirs. I've tried their Negroni one, and right now I'm having the spicy pineapple margarita. These are alcohol free, you guys, and they're chock full of things that are great for your body and great for your brain and great for your nervous system. Give it a shot. So that's number 3. Number 4, the fourth daily habit that impacts our nervous system health is that we avoid rest. We avoid stillness like the plague. Y'all, your inability to rest and be still will keep you in your sympathetic nervous system. That sympathetic nervous system will get large and in charge if you don't learn how to slow down and rest, right? When we are resting, our parasympathetic nervous system is activated. That system gets to step in. That system allows our body to recover. So when we're avoiding downtime, avoiding rest, avoiding mental breaks, we never give our nervous system a chance to regulate. So maybe you're listening to this and you're like, I used to be, right? You're constantly multitasking. You feel so uncomfortable with downtime. You feel guilty about it. You feel guilty that you're not being productive. It feels like you're wasting time. Or you sit down, but like you have to be doing something, right? You have to be listening to a podcast. You have to be scrolling your phone. You have to be reading a book. You have to be watching TV. You have to be like, I don't know, planning for the Halloween costumes or whatever it is. Like you can't just sit and rest, right? You never enter that rest and digest mode. Your body stays stuck in overdrive. And guys, that leads us to emotional exhaustion. It leads us to physical burnout. It's one of my big 3, right? I always talk about stillness, movement, and play. So building in moments of intentional stillness into your day. Again, I'm not talking about adding this whole like hour-long morning stillness routine. Like ain't nobody got time for that. What I am talking about is like, instead of jumping from task to task to task all day long, can you take 3 minutes between tasks? Like if you're cleaning your kitchen and then you're going to go fold laundry or you're going to go answer emails or you're going to go help your kids with homework or you're going to go scrub the bathroom, like can you take 5 minutes between tasks and just sit on the couch, have a glass of water, right? Do a 5-minute meditation, do 3 minutes of breath work. Just sit and notice what's going on in your body. Wow, my jaw's been clenched all day long. I'm so glad I took a moment to notice this. I'm going to soften it. I'm going to peel my tongue off of the roof of my mouth, right? Just sitting quietly, journaling, sitting without distraction, without your phone for a few minutes between tasks. Massive change, I promise you. And then the last one, number 5, the 5th habit that impacts our nervous system health. You guys are rushing. Are we rushing through meals? Rushing through meals. When we eat in a rushed state or do anything rushed, honestly, but I think eating is one of the most frequent that I see. When we are rushing to eat, that is signaling to our nervous system that we're not safe, right? We're too busy to sit and eat and breathe and properly digest. We're rushing, right? Something must be coming. Something bad must be happening. We're running out of food. Someone's going to take our food. Like that's literally what we're signaling to our nervous system, you guys. And it leads to really poor digestion and it leads to poor nutrient absorption. And moreover, it keeps our body in our fight or flight response, right? It keeps us activated instead of allowing that parasympathetic, that rest and digest response to take over. So this might be you if you eat while standing. This might be you if you eat at your desk. This might be you if you rush through meals or skip meals entirely, or make dinner for your kids. And then as you're doing like all the other things you need to do, you just walk by their plate and just pick up a chicken nugget and eat it. And that's your dinner, right? But poor digestion, lack of nutrients, all of that contributes to fatigue. It contributes to dysregulation. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, our body can't recharge if it's not properly nourished. So I would encourage you guys, if this one's landing for you, practice mindful eating. Again, this is not like a habit you have to add on. You have to go out and buy anything. This is just like, can I be more mindful when I'm eating? Even if it's just for 5 minutes, you guys, like, can you sit down, chew your food slowly, take small bites, breathe, drink between bites, like notice the flavors, notice the textures of your food. Mindful eating. And it engages your parasympathetic nervous system, and that promotes digestion, it promotes relaxation, and ultimately it's super regulating for your nervous system. So guys, I know these are small habits, and they might seem insignificant, but let me tell you, like, just trust me on this. They have a huge impact on your nervous system over time. And you guys are taking the steps, like just now having this awareness of these patterns, it allows you to start making small shifts in your day-to-day routines toward regulating your nervous system. So I'd love to invite you, man, just consider like which one of these 5 habits we just went through might have the greatest return on the investment of your time and intention in your own nervous system. Like, can you start with just one small change this week to bring more calm and to bring more balance into your day? Continue listening to the podcast. We talk about this stuff a lot, you guys. I give you guys a ton of practical strategies for nervous system regulation. So I think that's super helpful, but I would love for you to just grab one thing that you're going to be intentional about focusing on this week, to change that daily habit, to help incorporate a practice that is more regulating and ultimately that serves you guys better. All right, that's what I've got for you guys today. I'm so grateful for you. I love you all so much. If you have enjoyed this episode, if you've enjoyed the Calm On podcast, if you have learned anything, one, that's so awesome. And it's my favorite thing to hear. And then second, if you could thank me by leaving the show a 5-star rating and a short review, I would just be so grateful for you and to you. I truly have the best audience in all the world. And ultimately, leaving the show a rating and a review is a great way to say thank you to me. But more than that, it's the way that we get all of this information, which I really think is, I mean, it's just so important, especially to women like us who are raising children. It's how we get the show out there to other women so they get access to the same information. So if you could leave the show a short review, a 5-star rating today, I'd be so grateful. All right. I love you guys so much. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.